What's up guys, welcome back. So this video isn't going to be a build video or anything like that. Last week I actually asked you guys if you had any questions for me. I will be doing a Q&A, and that is what this video is. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love to have you hit the like button, because that then tells me that you guys like this style of video. I've never done a video like this, so by hitting the like button, that will let me know that you guys want to see more of these, and that is something I'm open to. I might be doing these maybe once a month or every couple weeks or something like that. So the first question that I found here was, where does all the money come from for you to buy your tools? I guess since you're still in school, your parents probably sponsor most of it. That is actually not true. I don't have any sponsors, like any tool companies sponsoring me to do that, and I don't have my parents sponsoring it. All of the tools that I have purchased and acquired have come from my own money. And I guess the way that I'm able to purchase all these tools is by, okay, first, birthday and Christmas money, I'll give you that. You know, that money isn't really a large percent of what I actually spend. I don't really get a lot of money from that, so that's not really a big factor in this, but I do obviously make a little bit of money from these videos, and that I put towards tools. But I guess what I think you're trying to ask is, how did I do it when I first started out? I guess most of the tools that I acquired, I either worked for it or I built projects for people in the beginning, and I was able to turn those for a profit and therefore turn that money into tools that I could use to make more projects. That's kind of the cycle that it went through for a while. And I guess the one thing I'd like to say about acquiring tools for woodworking or any trade really is, don't be afraid to go onto Craigslist or eBay or trying to find individual people. Most of the tools I have out here in my shop, I didn't even buy in the store. I actually went to someone, or I went to Craigslist or eBay, and I was able to get a good deal on a tool that I knew I needed. And you know, a lot of the tools out here I bought for a really good deal. And the thing about it is, well, number one, you have to be patient. I didn't acquire all these in the span of a week or even a month. It took me a couple years to actually acquire most of these tools. Number two is that you have to do your research. A lot of these tools out here, I searched for probably a couple weeks to a month and a half sometimes, and you know, I'm able to get good deals that way. I'm not in a super big hurry with any tool that I acquire. If I see a good deal, I jump on it. For example, the planer's new in my shop. I got that for a really good deal, and I've been looking into that for probably 2 or 3 months. And you know, every couple days I go into Craigslist and I say, okay, what new DeWalt planers are in my area? And that's kind of how it happens. So I guess that's kind of how I acquire most of my tools. So the next question here is, what got me started in woodworking, and what advice do I have for someone who's my age and is starting out? So believe it or not, I actually started woodworking in 2015. My dad had a really old table saw, and that was pretty much the only woodworking tool that my family had. And that is what got me through the first couple projects. Well, I guess the question is how I actually found woodworking. So on YouTube, I watch YouTube all the time, and in 2015 and before that, I was really into Lego. I enjoyed building things, I enjoyed putting things together, building sets and all that. And then I finally came across a couple videos where people were doing the same thing with wood, and they were building projects and building furniture and stuff like that. And once I started watching some of those videos, I'm like, you know what, I can try that. I came out here into this garage. Now keep in mind, this garage was not a shop at all. Some of you guys are under the assumption that all of these are my parents' tools or my dad's tools and I just work out here. None of this was here a couple years ago. This garage was filled with junk. I was able to slowly clear that out and bring my tools in. I have many tools, I have a YouTube channel, and it all revolves around woodworking. So my advice for someone starting out that's my age is, don't be in a hurry and don't be afraid to do simple projects. When I say don't be in a hurry, what I mean is that just because you watch all these people maybe on YouTube or on the internet somewhere else that have all these tools, that doesn't mean that you have to have all those tools in order to make a project. You could easily make a simple project with just a handful of tools, and that is how I started out with my very first projects. Someone who is just starting out, that's what I would recommend. There really isn't any project that is worthless. It could be a cutting board, it could be a simple bench, it could be a card holder, anything you want to build. I've seen many people that have tried to start woodworking and then they get under the assumption that, hey, I have to have all these tools in order to become a woodworker, and that's not the case. I can think of 5 or 6 simple projects in my head right now that only need a couple tools, probably a handsaw and a drill. That's really all you need to get started. And then if you enjoy it, you can always save up the money and acquire tools after that. That's what I would recommend probably for right now, for someone who is just starting out. Alright, next question. I think you will be a high school senior next year. What are your plans after you graduate? I'm not entirely sure yet. That's kind of something that I'm going to figure out over this next year. One thing I am sure of is that I will continue making videos and putting out content for you guys. And YouTube and social media is something that is pretty fascinating to me. I enjoy watching other people do it, and I think it's something that is going to be a part of me in the years to come. So the next question is, what are the other projects planned for this summer? As far as large projects go, I do plan on probably building a desk this summer for myself. That's one of the things I've been wanting to do for a while, and I'll probably be doing that this summer. It's probably not going to be as in-depth as the hutch that I'm building. It should be a lot of fun. I'm going to enjoy that. I'm slowly working on the design for that on SketchUp right now, so that is probably going to be later this month. I do also want to do some projects here on the Shopsmith, the lathe, but if there are any projects that you guys would like to see me do out here, I'm open to really anything you guys would like to do, and if you have a suggestion, please feel free to leave that down below, and we might be able to do that this summer. I'm out here, I'm working, and if there are any projects you guys would like to see me do, I'm on board. So I think the last question that I'm going to do for this video is, what is my current camera setup? So I actually film with the Canon 70D. That is a DSLR camera. As far as lenses go, I actually use the kit lens surprisingly a lot for my videos. It is the 18 to 55 millimeter, I believe, and I also have a 10 to 18 millimeter that I film with sometimes. That's more of a wide angle lens, and I use that for some shots. I have a Manfrotto tripod and a Generi or Generi light. I'm not sure how you pronounce the company, but I have one of those lights that I stick on top of my camera, and that's really good for lighting up my face for some of the shots, and that's worked really well. Surprisingly, that is like my main setup. I actually don't have a microphone. I film with the onboard mic on the camera. I'll probably get a Rode mic here pretty soon, like a shotgun mic. That will definitely be better audio. I've also been looking into possibly a lav mic that I attach to my shirt. That might be something that I'm in the market for. So that's kind of like my main setup for my main camera. I also film with my iPhone 7 Plus. I film with that for some things, and I even film with my old iPhone 4S. I use this for some action shots. If I drop this thing or it gets broken, it's not the end of the world, and I use that a lot. So that is kind of like my main setup. I've had many questions about what camera do I use and all that, so hopefully this clears that up. I will probably upgrade eventually in the future to bigger and better things, but for right now this is what I have, and it's worked pretty well. Like I said, microphones are probably going to be the next thing that I will probably be investing in video and audio wise. So I think that is going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, I'd love to have you subscribe if you haven't already. This isn't like my normal videos, so if you haven't watched any of my other ones, definitely go do that first, then subscribe. If you did enjoy this video, a like would be very appreciated. That lets me know that you guys enjoyed this video, and I might do more of these in the future. So that is basically going to be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video.